Hey guys, welcome to the RAMZPAUL show. I had an error on X. It's not loading to X right now. X is just having a problem, but hopefully I'll get that going soon. Let me make sure Rumble's going well. Hey, and I did a sound check before I went live. Let me know if it's bad. It was good when I did my sound check. Hopefully it's okay. Rumble looks like it's working. And X is just having its problems here. Let's see if I can get X going. Here we go. That wasn't on my end with X. That was X's issue, but I think it's running now. So let me make sure I can pin this. And here we go. All right. All right. We're live. Sounds good. Thank you, Magnum Opus. I messed with the settings before I went on, and I thought it was good. So good. Yeah, happy gay month. Happy Pride. Yeah, it's a weird thing, right? It's Norm Macdonald made a joke about it. He went to a pride parade and saw like these older guys with a sign, "I'm proud of my son," and Norm is like, yeah, exactly. What are you proud about? I mean, to be proud about something is like you did something great. It's like you were first in your class at Harvard, or you were a star baseball player. I don't know, sucking, doing those type of activities. It's like, yeah, proud. So the whole thing is kind of strange. And I want to say they're trying to bring it back because we went to, I think it was a peak about 4 years ago. We were in hell. In June, it was just nonstop homosexual flag everywhere. And then the last couple of years, it started to roll back quite a bit. We just didn't see as much anymore. But I think they're trying to ramp that up again. So the cultural wars definitely are not over. I think they just thought they needed to pause it for a while because people were getting tired of all that nonsense. And it's Sesame Street, and they're kind of a lot of shit libs. Let's just see their post. They had a post about this. Happy Pride Month from Sesame Street. Join us in celebrating and uplifting the LGBTQIA plus members of community. See, and I said many times, doing a sexual act doesn't make you an inherent member of a community. If you're born white, you're a white person. Or if you're born female, you could say you're a community of women, or born male, a community of men, right? But doing an act, like say if you steal things, then I guess you're a thief. Are you a community of thieves? I'm proud to be of the community. It's just ridiculous. It's not a community. It's an act that through most of history, there's been various approaches to it, but in general, it's been definitely discouraged for the health of society because a family is based on a man and a woman and children, not based on deviant sexual practices. Now, how society dealt with it through the years, it varied between the death penalty to jail to, well, we'll tolerate it, but you better keep it private. But to actually push it, especially with children, is just really crazy. But this is part of the culture war we are in, and it is it's definitely not over. And I looked, it wasn't as much as it's been in the past, at least in my experience, but it looks like it's trying to creep back. And here's Major League Baseball from the bleachers to the ball field and everywhere in between. Baseball is for everyone. And again, they're pushing the homosexuality as being just as good as heterosexuality when it isn't. And that's, we have like our religion. I've often said our highest value in America today is no longer free speech, it's no longer Christianity, it's no longer liberty, it's sodomy. Sodomy is our highest value in America. And that is what they push on children from before they know their letters now. It's crazy. Because I remember in my life, I think when I was born, it was illegal. But I was growing up, it's just one of those things, if you were into that sort of thing, you kept it kind of private. It wasn't something that you broadcast and pushed on everyone, especially children. But this is a fight that is still going on, and so we're not over that yet. We're not over that yet. And anyway, I want to thank you guys for being here at the Ramsey Paul Show. We do this Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 9 p.m. And on Wednesdays, we have it on. We have a roundtable. And if you want to see my roundtable and join it, Substack at RAMZPAUL.com. So you just join there, and every Wednesday night you get additional content. You don't actually have to join the roundtable if you just prefer to watch it. It's up there for you to watch. It's a private video. But if you prefer to actually interact with everyone, you're welcome to join. So thank you for that. And let's see here. I already got, oh, whoa, Lampshade. Lampshade always comes up big. I'm proud to give Ramsey Paul my money. Ramp it up. Also, don't forget about GMUT. Our partnership with the Orcs is integral to our identity. You know, Lampshade, because of you, I actually did look it up. I did. I looked it up on a video. Maybe I'll talk more about that. So that's a Orc leader from the game Warhammer. And I've never played Warhammer. You know, I played Dungeons and Dragons, and I played years ago World of Warcraft. But Warhammer, I guess, are miniatures. They seem to be pretty popular. In Fayetteville, they have a store just dedicated to Warhammer. That's all they sell, is Warhammer stuff. And then they have a bunch of geeks or chads playing the game. It looks pretty cool, though. Maybe I'll have to take it up. But anyway, thank you very much, Lampshade, for your generous donation. Oh, and by the way, because of Lampshade's generous donation, we are waiting on our DNA results for Benji, our dog that we're going to figure out what breed it is. Is it a pit bull? Is it a lab? What is it? Is it a collie, border collie? I think it's a pit bull, but we will see. So yeah, that is today. And let's see here. Oh, before the show started, in fact, yesterday, or 2 days ago, someone sent $15 just anonymous in my Powerchat. So thank you very much. Some people don't, have any comment to say. They just want to support the show. And thank you very much for that. And again, if you want to write me, Paul Ramsey at P.O. Box 8093, Fayetteville, Arkansas 72703. And Michael D. Do I have one? I don't have it here, but he always sends me these great magazines. World War II magazine. Well, it's about the Germans and World War I and World War II. In fact, I have it on the end table there. Michael D., thank you so much. And he also sends Sasha terror horror movies magazine, because Sasha's really into horror movies. And so thank you, Michael D., for that. And if you want to send the Power Chat, here is a Power Chat. And on Rumble, we have Rants, and on YouTube, we have SuperChats. So, yeah, it looks like we're going well. And speaking of movies, this kind of a lead-in, Sasha and I, we saw the movie Obsession. It was a week or so ago. I don't know. It all blurs together. They categorize it as a horror movie, but I don't know. It was more like a thriller. It was a little horror. It wasn't super bloody or anything except for a couple scenes. And it really wasn't that original, the idea. The idea, I think, goes back to... I read years ago in school a short story called The Monkey Paw, I think it was. It was written at the turn of the century, the 20th century, not the 21st. And it was the idea that you got the monkey paw and you could get wishes, but you got to be careful what you wish for because you may get it. And then when you get it, it's not what you really expect. It's sort of a morality tale. You've heard that saying, be careful what you wish for, you may get it. And then it's not going to be what you really expect. And this movie, Obsession, was really based on that. So it's not like a radical new idea. What it was, I'm not going to spoil anything, but the guy had a wish and he just he had a crush on this girl who was ignoring him. And he had this, some thing he bought that gave him a wish. And she became obsessed with him. And it was like, she was like a stalker then, just totally obsessed with him. And then it was interesting. And the acting was good. And it's made a lot of money, and they made the movie for under $1 million. It's just crazy. It's doing better than Star Wars, and the recent release of Star Wars that has a budget of like $160 million. And it is really crazy what is happening here. And part of the reason, and the guy that did it was the guy on YouTube that just did YouTube videos like me, but he was into films and he was able to raise money to do it. And part of the problem why we're not getting this out of Hollywood now is because white males are excluded from film school. And this is like the, here's a few observations on the new crop of the Sundance org. So these are the, I guess the writers' school where the next generation of Hollywood writers come from. The only white guy went to NYU and is co-directing with a woman. 5 of the fellows went to NYU, a film school that now costs over $100,000 tuition. 30% went to Columbia, USC, or in New York City. And again, NYU, I'm sure the white guy, I'm sure, was probably Jewish. That's a heavily Jewish school. And so out of the 24 fellows, only 1 white male was selected, even though they're likely 65% of the submissions. So what they're doing, and we're seeing this in society because of diversity and groups like the ADL that hates white people and they want to marginalize us, they are in a systematic manner preventing white males, young white guys, from attending film school. And again, if you have connections, let's say if you're related to Steven Spielberg, maybe you get in then. But otherwise, they're just doing it, for women and minorities. So they're not selecting the best people or the most creative people. They're selecting people based on DEI considerations. And this isn't just film school. This is most universities do this. And it's really shocking. Like, we took our animals, Benji and Button, to the vet, and almost all the new vets now are women. They really are. It's hard to find a vet unless he's an older guy that's a man, because 70% of vet school now is women. It's just crazy. The majority of people that attend universities now are women, which, by the way, explains the low birth rate. Because women, what happens in their 20s, they go to university and they don't want to get pregnant then because, or start a family. So because they got to concentrate on partying and get their degree. Then they go in the corporate world or whatever. And they don't want to be dragged down by a kid right away. So until they decide to have kids, it's usually until they're 30 when they're not as fertile anymore. And that's the biggest problem that we have right now. So again, this was by design. So colleges, they give preferential treatment to women, and so do jobs and minorities. And it's having a devastating impact on our whole society. But what's really cool, even though these institutions are preventing white males from getting into film school, these guys are just doing it on their own. And I think you're going to see more and more of this with AI can help you. And not just AI actors, because they used real actors, but they're just regular people, actors is all they use. They didn't use anyone famous. Obviously, if your budget for the whole film, that's a film, that's a director, that's everything, the props, is under $1 million, obviously you can't afford an A-list actor that's going to want $10 million or something. So I think they're so overrated, big name actors, because if you have a good movie with a good plot, people are going to go to it. And you can get a lot of people that are great actors that aren't famous, and they'll work a lot cheaper. And I think that's the way in the future. And maybe they do a thing like, hey, I'm starting out, we don't have a big budget, I can't pay you a lot, maybe a minimal salary, but here's the deal. If the movie catches on, you can get a percent of the money we get in, or something like that. That'd be a way to attract people to do that. But yeah, Obsession was an example of a movie of how I think Hollywood's changing, and I think in general how we're going to have to adapt as a people. As we're being excluded from institutions, we're going to have to create our own institutions, and the institutions that have been taken over by women and minorities can quickly devolve into irrelevancy. So that is what we are seeing there. So that is a issue there. Oh, another thing, since I'm on woke topics, I saw this, and I actually did this. You can do this at home in the safety of your own home. A Google image search of white mother returns images of white women with only black children. I tested this, and it's true. When you do a Google search on white women, white mothers, you get they just all have black babies. And again, that's intentional. It's a way to demoralize us as a people. And I think more and more people are being aware, and the people that are against our people, why they're doing it. I think that is becoming more known now. So, yeah, that was pretty cool there. Let's see here. But don't get demoralized, I guess my point of view is, because these guys did it, and there's another movie I think called Backrooms or something like that that has done really well too. It was a low budget film. And again, with the tools and technologies, I don't think Hollywood's going to have a monopoly on films anymore. And, fuck their gay film schools where they just, have their little diversity. We could get talented people do it on their own. And we could do the same with games and everything else. And so don't get discouraged. They're really more parasites as we create. They just try to take over and suck off it. Hey, I made a Pride Month reference. But in a sense, a parasite is always dependent on the other. So I wouldn't get too upset about that. So good news on that. I was happy to see that. Let's see here. All right, we have our 250th anniversary of a country coming up. And I'll get to the Iranian stuff. It's just the same nonsense as always today was. And we'll get to that. But here's a guy that just moved to America. I don't know why he's in this country, but let's listen to him. His name is Velshi. Okay, if your name's Velshi, you probably shouldn't be here.
In 1 month, America will mark the 250th anniversary of its founding. Like previous anniversaries, there is a deep unease about this. I feel a deep unease about.
Well, you're not an American. This guy literally wasn't an American until he wasn't a U.S. citizen until like a year ago or 2 years ago. He's still not an American. Just because you move here and become a citizen doesn't make you an American. No more than if I moved to Japan, became a Japanese citizen, I still want to be Japanese.
About these celebrations to which I am invited to mark the 250th anniversary of our so-called democracy. In 1 month.
Believe me, I have issues with this country too. But this guy he became a citizen in 2015. And his name is Velshi. And I don't know where he's from, but he needs to go back wherever he was from. He's a Canadian broadcast journalist. So he was a Canadian, but where did he come from originally? Oh, he came from Kenya. He doesn't look that black. I bet he's he's a Muslim of Indian descent. Boy, this is a real strange mystery meat here. but he's kind of part black, part Indian, part God knows what. And he came to Canada, then he wormed his way into the United States, and he's saying he doesn't really feel it. He doesn't really feel it. So he needs to go back to Kenya or wherever that is, or Canada. They can be the diverse area there. That's the way it is. All right, if you want to see a little bit about DEI, and DEI, the problem with DEI is obviously it hurts people that have earned getting into a university, but they're excluded because of their race. That's very objectionable. But more than that, it also hurts us all as society, because do you really want to live in a society where all the doctors are basically low IQ and they've just been pushed through and they don't know what they're doing? Do you really want that to be your doctor or build your bridges? And this is the problem with society that we're having. And here's someone that got into UCLA, which is a fairly, I guess, used to be somewhat prestigious school. And here he is. Let's listen to this scholar here. They asked him to read this.
Carey tried to ambush the extortion scheme.
What does that mean?
I don't even know. I can't say that. Tried to.
I just watched this. I haven't watched this before. And this is, and I'm not like the smartest guy, but the beneficiary tried to embellish the extortion scheme. And that means the person that was benefiting from extortion, which means blackmailed. So he was trying to exaggerate it or embellish it, make it greater. That's how I would say. Hey, I just went to state school, though. What do I know?
Embellish the extortion scheme.
What does that mean?
I don't know. The university student procured an off-campus accommodation via the platform Unishack. Unishack does that?
One guy got it. Yeah, that's pretty embarrassing. So this UCLA, they did find a black guy that could read. All right, there's one at UCLA. So that is the thing here that happened. All right, and what else is happening in America? Let's take a look here. Yeah, this makes my blood boil. This guy was arrested 72 times, set this white girl on fire. This guy was arrested 45 times, murdered, 39 arrests, murdered, 33 arrests, murdered, and 17 arrests, murdered. And again, I hate to see the cliche, but if you reverse the races, if these were all white guys and these were black people, they would be mayhem, National Guard called out. It's outrageous. We don't have to live like that. We have no obligation to live with these people at all. I wish them the best, but they don't belong here. They don't belong around us. And I'm not going to shed any tears if they can't find food or they don't know what to do. But this has to stop. And it's not a one-off. It's happening across Europe, America, Canada, you name it. And you just can't, I don't want to live that way. And we don't have to live that way. I want my homeland. Just like the Jewish people have their homeland, I want my homeland. I don't want to share it with people like that. And I really don't want this. Let's just take a look here. And now where I live, they don't have to do this because we haven't been blessed with diversity yet, although I'm sure it's coming.
Standing in Kroger, and that is a barricade on that end. And when you turn this way, that is also a barricade. And so wow, this is crazy. So you come in, there's a door there to enter. And this entire health, wellness section is barricaded off within the store. That is so wild to me.
Let me see if we can figure out what the issue is here. Let me see if we can figure out what the issue is. Oh, there we go. I think I got an issue. What could be the problem here? Why do they have to barricade this up? where I go to my store in the small town closest to me, it's about 20 miles away. They don't have to do this. But where this lady goes, they have to barricade everything up and lock it up. I wonder why. Yeah, again, we shouldn't have to live like that. And then, I like the nature. I like hiking and all that. I have my whole life. And in Cathedral Rock, this was on Indians here, okay? And so this is an ancient rock that I guess American Indians have. And then the other Indians that were piling in with H-1Bs, they thought it'd be fun to, there we go, they're just vandalizing an ancient monument there. Looks like Utah. There they are, just vandalizing it. Yeah, they need to be shipped out of the country and never come back. They shouldn't have been here in the first place. They can vandalize their country, which is basically what they do. But yeah, that is the thing there. All right. Okay, let me just take a look at everything. Oh, let's see. Dixon Reckham, thank you. My sister's wife got her pregnant via sister's wife egg fertilized with an anonymous sperm donor implanted in my sister through IVF. The baby is a boy. They gave him a girl's name and likely will raise him to be trans. One of these things, we're getting so perverted in the world today sometimes. I almost need a Venn diagram. I almost have to list everything out. Like when you have like a boy pretending to be a girl marries a girl that's pretending to be a boy, and then the boy has a baby, but the boy's really a girl. It's one of those weird things. My sister's wife got her pregnant via sister's wife's egg fertilized with an anonymous sperm donor implanted through my sister through IVF. Yeah, that's just really crazy. I'm sorry to hear about that. And again, I'm okay with fertility treatments and stuff, but each child needs a mother and a father, and that is just really crazy. So I'm sorry to hear about that. And you were right. I don't see, people aren't born gay. That's a lie. There is no gene that makes you gay. That'd be like saying people are born thieves. Well, I guess in a sense you could say from a Christian point of view, everyone's born into sin. So maybe everyone has a temptation to steal, right? But you're not born a thief. You're a thief when you steal something. And I suppose everyone has a temptation to steal. I never really did it, but some people do. And sexual sin is the same way. You're not born with that. It's a perversion that comes upon you for a variety of reasons. And you can either do it or not. And so, yeah, it's just really crazy. All right, let's see here. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. And yeah. All right. Let me look at my Rants Rumble, make sure I'm caught up on there. And let's see here. What happened in, I don't know if you guys saw this, but Chink, he's a young Turks guy, and I'm not a big fan of his. But the UK just banned the entry of 2 American citizens, Chink Uyghur and the Hassan, I don't know, Piker or whatever, and because they criticized Israel. So now if you go to the UK, if you criticize Britain or the United Kingdom, you're welcome to the United Kingdom. That's no problem. If you hate America, burn the America flag, yeah, the British will have you in, fine. Criticize Israel? Oh, no. You're not coming in our country. That just really shows who controls these countries. So Britain is not controlled by the British people. America is not controlled by the American people. Obviously, we're not, right? APAC, that needs to be dissolved. ADL needs to be abandoned, the people arrested. It's outrageous how we're controlled by another country. And I love America. These are my people. But I have to say, after 250 years, we're no longer independent. Like the days 250 years ago, we were dependent on England. We were a colony. Now we're a colony of Israel. They control our speech. They control our government politicians, our wars. They're integrating with our military. So we are not independent. And it's just not the United States. It's many Western nations now are no longer independent. And it is really, really crazy here. And they're doing something here in Israel too, where they expect Christians to go to Israel. I don't know if you saw this, and beg and cry God to forgive their nations for not supporting Israel enough.
Father God, as a German and European, I just ask forgiveness for the anti-Semitism all around that is growing, and we repent on behalf of it, and we bless Israel.
So these are people that are not Christians or heretics, because in Christianity, the chosen people are those who receive Jesus Christ. So if this lady was a Christian, she would tell these people, you're going to hell unless you accept Jesus Christ as your Savior. And the good news is you can, but if you continue to reject the Messiah, Jesus Christ, you're going to hell. And I'm not saying that, that's what Jesus said. So that is the gospel of Jesus Christ. And if you say anything else and grovel, you are rejecting the word of God. So very, very disturbing what we see, these so-called Christians. You're not a Christian if you do that. Straight out, you're not a Christian. You are something else. You need to get the book of Galatians. It's in the New Testament. I don't know if these Christians have the New Testament. They probably reject it for anti-Semitism. But read the book of Galatians. That will help you cure you of your problem. And yeah, that is where we are. All right, let's see here. The MAGA, I thought Megyn Kelly had a really good update on where MAGA is right now. And she's actually been on fire recently. I didn't used to follow her, but she retweeted me once, and I'm kind of agreeing with a lot of what she says. Let's listen to her here.
There is, what's core MAGA now?
I have no idea.
I think I know. Trump has said from the beginning...
Pedophile supporting Israeli lobby?
Pedophile supporting Israeli lobby.
I have no idea.
Need a different acronym. But Trump has said from the beginning that he defines what MAGA is. MAGA is what I say it is, he has said. And he's not wrong. It's his moniker. It's his campaign slogan. And all along, he's defined what is and is not MAGA. And he told me personally, MAGA will feel the way I want them to feel. I'll tell them how to feel about this, that, or the other thing, and they will. And he has been totally right on that. The problem for Trump now is that he has defined MAGA literally to those who agree with Mark Levin.
Yeah, Mark Levin. That's the guy that defines MAGA now. The guy that puts Israel first, doesn't really care about America, just about Israel.
If you don't agree with Mark Levin, you're not MAGA, which means you must be a neocon whose main issue is what's in the best interest of Israel.
See, this is why it's going to be really hard for Trump to get out of the war. I mean, Trump's in a tough space, and we'll talk about it here a little bit. But Trump is always pimping and promoting Mark Levin. That guy's just crazy, too. But if he believes whatever that Mark said, we're never going to get out of the war.
And that defines MAGA down to nothing. It's a nub. So what's that? It's not large. It's not important. It's not cool. It's not appealing to young people. It has no future. Much like Mark Levin himself, it's old, it's angry, and it's dying.
Much like Mark Levin itself is old, angry, and dying. Yeah, that's kind of MAGA now.
And so those are the people who, like, the die-hard loyalists who will just feel the way Trump wants them to feel, are the ones who are harassing you for saying what you think about Thomas Massey. They're entitled to their opinion, but they do not represent the Republican Party. They don't represent the right, and they definitely don't represent the future.
No, it's a strange coalition. It's mostly older boomer Fox News watchers that are like in a cult. You have some paid people like Jack Posobiec that he knows better. He's almost like trolling, but he's being paid. That just, boom, whatever Trump does, 4D chest. It's in these Israel firsters, neocons, which ironically, they'll stab Trump quickly in the back if he doesn't give them what they want. They have no loyalty to him whatsoever. This is the pattern with Trump. People that are loyal to him, Trump will throw under the bus. People that hate him, he'll kiss their ass and do everything for them. And then those people, I guarantee you, they're going to throw Trump under the bus. But I'm not going to feel sorry for Trump because it is, he brought this on himself. All right, now speaking, this is Pride Month. We're going to talk about Dave Rubin. He is a husband. So listen, he did a debate here. So let's just take a look at a clip of this. This is classic stuff here. Classic Dave Rubin. This guy is stupid.
So let's start. Well, first off, the disastrous war, the quote unquote disastrous war that you're talking about. You're talking about a 40-day military operation that stopped an apocalyptic regime from getting a nuclear bomb and exporting terrorism throughout the world. And we're now in an economic embargo.
I like that. That guy's look, like, what the fuck? Look at that look. Are you serious? Oh, stop them from getting us in the apocalypse. They're going to kill us all with a nuclear bomb.
Nuclear bomb. And exporting terrorism throughout the world. And we're now in a.
They don't export terrorism throughout the world either. That's a big lie. The Sunnis are more of the terrorists. Wahhabist or whatever they call them. It's not really the Shiites.
We're now in an economic embargo of them, right? We've basically done a blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. So to say it's a disastrous war,
we've done a blockade.
We did lose. Hang on. We did lose 13. We did lose 13 of our soldiers, and that is
and killed over
terrible.
200 children.
But things happen in war, right?
Yeah.
Hey, you gotta break some eggs to make an omelet. That's just the way it is. If it's to defend greater Israel, sometimes you just have to break a few eggs to make that omelet.
Yeah, well, things do happen in war. You can laugh at that. Hold on. Listen, you want to talk?
If Donald Trump wanted to prevent the Islamic Republic of Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon, he could have just stuck with the Iran nuclear deal that he ripped up. Iran did not.
Yeah, and that deal was working, by the way. The JCPOA, Iran wasn't developing a nuclear bomb. And that's not me, RAMZPAUL, saying that. That was our own intelligence agencies were saying Iran was not developing a nuclear bomb. And despite what Netanyahu said, they were not 2 weeks away from developing one and blowing up America. That was a bullshit excuse. What the whole point of the war was regime change for Israel.
Iran did not enrich past the 3.67. Wait, they didn't enrich past the 3.67% agreed upon in the JCPOA. They only got to 60% after Donald Trump left that deal.
I'm impressed with your talking points. You got impressive talking points, and you memorized them well. They're not correct, but I am impressed.
Okay.
First off, the Iranians admitted in the negotiations right before the war started that they were enriching past what they were allowed to. That's number one. Number two, can you agree or verify their?
Yeah, here's a fact check. IAEA, that's the International Atomic Energy Association, reports and U.S. analysts show Iran did not enrich uranium beyond the 3.67% limit. That's for civilian use. To get to a nuclear weapon, you need to enrich it to about 90%. And they did enrich a little bit more, up to 60%, but that was after Trump tore up the deal. And so, because they're not under the deal anymore because Trump tore it up.
Claims. It's one thing to say, oh, this is what we're doing, this is what we are agreed to, et cetera, but you have to be able to verify.
And of course, Dave Rubin's for the war because, Israel is his ethnic homeland.
That. And the idea that we have people on the ground or the UN or some third-party organization that can verify what they're actually doing.
The IAEA assessments agree with me, and Tulsi Gabbard, our Director of National Intelligence, testified in front of Congress last year, and according to the entire intelligence community, Iran did not have a nuclear weapons program.
Yeah, Tulsi Gabbard, and she testified to that.
Okay. That they didn't have a nuclear weapons program. They were enriching past the point that they were allowed to for civilian use. Everyone knows that. But allow me.
But do you understand the weaponization process is different than just enriching?
Do you think the Iranian regime before this war, the Iranian
Okay, in fact check, Tulsi did say
regime that has oppressed the people of Iran for 40 years.
Okay, now Dave Rubin lost that argument, so he's doing we need to be the morality police of the world.
Do you think that was a good regime? Would you say that was a good government? Would you like to live under those people? Were they progressive in any way? Do they hold any of the values that any of you guys hold?
No, but we don't just start wars on countries whose politics we disagree with or who are oppressive to their own people. We were actually an ally to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, and Israel. So so that was a good point. So Dave Rubin got kind of blown out. So hopefully his husband can console him and make him feel a little bit better. I feel sorry for that poor kid they bought, and hopefully he's okay. All right, so let's see here. I found that pretty interesting. Okay. All right, I guess we'll get into now what is happening in Iran. I don't go into this a little bit because this changes by the hour, and it's hard to trust anyone. Trump, ever since February 28th, has been, I don't know how many times, it's just a running joke saying we're close to a deal. And then Iran says no. Then he gets mad. And then he comes back and said, we're close again. And then Iran says no. It's just an endless circle. But as of today, we went through kind of a mini circle real quick. Iran suspended all negotiations with the United States. And the reason they did this is because part of the ceasefire agreement included Lebanon and Israel. Israel couldn't continue to bomb Lebanon. And initially, Israel abided by that agreement, but like Israel always does, they broke it, and they're bombing Lebanon again. So Iran's like, yeah, fuck it, we're done negotiating. Then that was part of the agreement, and you guys aren't abiding by it. And so what happened is Trump called Netanyahu and basically begged him to stop attacking Hezbollah so that the regime will return to the table and give him a deal. So Trump reportedly, and I don't know if this is really true, but was very angry with Netanyahu. They said it was a horrible telephone call, and it was leaked. This was by Axios, and he basically, Trump said was just well, let me say this right here. This is what Axios is reporting, and they have kind of the inside information of the administration. This could be true or not, because maybe the Trump administration is releasing this just to try to show that Trump is not Netanyahu's bitch. But supposedly, during the telephone call, Trump told Netanyahu, "You're fucking crazy. You'd be in prison if it weren't for me. I'm saving your ass." And that's true because Netanyahu's up for corruption charges, but he can't stay on trial while the war's going on. So it's in Netanyahu's benefit personally to keep the war going on. everyone hates Israel because of this. What the fuck are you doing? And it could be true, though, because I think there's some frustration with Trump. He wants to get out of this, but anytime he tries to get out of this war, Israel fucks it up. And he got into this war because of lies about Israel. Israel, Netanyahu specifically, told Trump that despite the Atomic Agency, Energy Agency, and our own CIA, where we said, no, Iran wasn't close to a nuclear bomb, Netanyahu said that Iran was 2 weeks away from a bomb. And literally, not joking, Netanyahu has made that claim for 40 years that Iran was 2 weeks away from the bomb. And he was able to convince Trump that an attack on Iran would be quick and easy and it'd be over in the weekend. That didn't happen. And Trump is now stuck because he doesn't know how to get out. Because I said yesterday or last Friday, he needs a deal that Iran would take, but he also needs one that Israel and the neocons will accept because he's scared to death of that lobby. So he feels trapped right now. All right, I think I got another a chat here. So let me just see this here. Would you feed Benji a steak on show for enough money? Name your price. Yeah, I would feed Benji a steak on show. I don't know, whatever price of a steak is. I'd give it. I don't know the logistics. If I get a little round steak, yeah, I'd feed him that. So I don't know what. I don't even know steak prices. I can't afford steak. I don't know, $50 or something. So sure. If you want to do that, I will feed. Benji eats really quick though, but yeah, I would do that for you if you want that lampshade. You can see a wild. I think he's a pit bull, but we will see. I know Benji would like that. He loves to eat. That dog is an eater. But yeah, if you want a lampshade, I will do that. All right, and we'll see what breed he is too. So anyway, that's where we are today. And Trump then said, he told CNBC, I don't care. I don't even care if negotiations are over. Maybe it's better we're not talking. But then later in the day, Trump backtracks. Oh, no, we're still talking. I think we're going to have a deal within a week. So here's Trump. I don't know why anyone believes Trump anymore, because he keeps saying the same thing over and over and over. But that is where he is right now. And the problem is, it's almost like Iran wants to start the war again because they want to punish Trump. And Trump is the one that's scared to start it again because Iran can deflect a lot of pain. And this is something that they're talking about with their allies, the Houthis in Yemen. Remember those guys? They can control the Red Sea and stop that strait. It's called the Bab el-Mandeb Strait. Right now, the Strait of Hormuz is closed by Iran. But so what Saudi Arabia is doing, they export a lot of oil. They did through the Persian Gulf, but they're like, uh-oh, we can't do that anymore. But we got a pipeline. We can send some of our oil across Saudi Arabia to the Red Sea and take the boats, ships, tankers down through the Red Sea, go through this strait, and there we go. But if the Houthis close this strait, then we'll have a huge oil crisis. And that's their big threat now. And I think Trump is scared to death about it. I don't think Trump knows what to do. And any option he does right now is a bad option. So he's kind of like a deer. I have a lot of deer where I live. And sometimes deer, they flight when they get scared. You're driving your car, they see you and they spaz out and they run. But every once in a while you get a deer doesn't know what to do and just stares at you. That's where you get the idea deer in the headlights, because it really happens. Sometimes deer, they don't know what to do. They panic and they just freeze. And I think Trump is freezing. He doesn't know what to do because he wants to pull out, but that will get the Israeli lobby mad at him. And I don't know if they're blackmailing him or what, but he's scared to death of them. So he's got to appease them, like Mark Levin, he's got to appease. And they want total victory. They want to topple Iran. But then Iran, they're having more and more demands, and the military option's not good because we shot off most of our missiles. There's an inventory shortage. And if Trump should attack Iran again. Iran could close the Red Sea, do more damage to the global infrastructure. We could have $6 gasoline in America, huge crisis. So Trump feels trapped. A lot of times when people feel trapped, they just get paralyzed and don't do anything. But by Trump not doing anything, that's just prolonging it. And eventually the energy situations are going to get worse and worse. So that is where Trump is right now. And they've been pulling out a lot of, he's been able to manage the oil situation somewhat, the prices, because the U.S. has been emptying the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. I think that's down in Louisiana or Texas. They have these salt caverns, and they fill it with oil. But it is less than 10 days away from falling to the lowest level since August 1983, a level not seen since the SPR's initial fill-up that began in 1977. So we're pretty much draining our reserves. And once those reserves are drained, then things could get really, really dicey. So there is a ticking clock to what is happening, and it's not looking good. It's not looking good. So we will see. But and again, what Trump says, I don't listen to that much because he's pretty kind of crazy there. All right. I don't think this video was fake. I think it was real. I always like to end in a little funny video. So let me just show you one here real quick here. And it made me feel real old because I don't know how many of you guys use these or not. Let me just share the screen here. And this they gave their kid a rotary phone. Have you guys ever used a rotary phone? And they gave these Gen Z kids a rotary phone and see if they knew how to figure out how to use it.
Okay, so go ahead and lift up the box. You have 4 minutes to dial that phone number.
That's it?
That's it. With that phone.
Wait, so you have to push it, right?
Kyle, move your butt over. I don't want your butt in the video. There you go.
Look. It's all the way from here.
Yeah. 7.
Oh no, zero's all the way over. How do I restart? Okay, yeah. Alright.
7. Then just fill it a little bit.
Maybe.
8.
That was 7.
Yeah, 7.
They have like no idea how to use that. When I was a kid, that's what we had, a rotary phone. They suck because if you didn't go all the way around, you got a wrong number. But yeah, that made me feel a little bit old that kids, they wouldn't know how to use a phone like that. It sort of cracked me up. I don't know if you guys ever used a phone like that or not. I did when I was young. That was, then we got fancy, got the push button phones. But yeah, that was, pretty crazy that kids today have no idea how to use something like that. Okay, let's see here. $200 steaks for everyone. All right, for $200, Benji is eating a steak. I will get a steak tomorrow, and Benji will eat it on camera. Thank you, Lampshade. That will very much. And that will give us a steak too. So thank you, Lampshade. Very generous of you. I really do appreciate it. All right. So well, we're about wrapped up for today. Tomorrow, we'll have a great show. We'll have Benji eating the steak on camera. Thanks to Lampshade. And that should be wild. That should be a wild experience. I'll have to have Sasha to help me. Sasha is on vacation this week. She's taking the week off, so she can help me wrangle the dog. But anyway, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And we'll be back tomorrow. It's Tuesday and Benji. See you then. Whoa, buddy. Talk to you later.